try breaking it up a little bit too. So, well, we're up to 15 people. Okay. So, I think what we should do first is we should get our equipment ready. And then once it's ready, we go into the background, and I'm even prepared for class today. I made some notes, I scanned them in. We need at some point, tape. I put out an announcement. It turns out, Lawrence, it won't be as critical as I originally thought, but yeah, I would do that. You know why? Because I get the feeling we want to tape this down to our desks when we're ready to go. So, right. I sent out an announcement at the last minute because I've been like tearing my hair out about how to do this lab. And I finally hit me, and you'll see when we do the background. And so I quickly made up the materials list and the pre-lab, and I had to keep tweaking, the pre-lab and sending stuff to people because there was some misunderstandings. But I actually am pretty excited about this. I really think this is going to work. I woke up in the middle of the night last night, and I actually was on my iPad. It's pretty funny. At 3 in the morning. Heck, yeah. And I was testing out the feasibility of the method, and it all kind of worked out. So I'm extremely excited about this. I really want to see it work. Yeah, that's fine, Kevin. The idea is that we all want to try to have the most similar equipment as possible. And it turns out that even the material of the marble is important, but if it's on the small side, this one here might be a little smaller than what you guys got. I in fact had to run out at the last minute, and I just see these really big ones, and I see other ones that look like this. Of course, this one is kind of boring. I don't see any of them that look like the traditional marble. Like the big one here would be your shooter. Yeah, in fact, I have to say, when I was in elementary school, even though it wasn't that freaking ancient, let's see, kindergarten 64 or something like that. But when they let us go out into the back of the school for lunch and such, you would see kids with if there was a bare patch with no grass, they would have scratched out a circle, and they were playing marbles. So the bigger one would be your shooter, and so you flick at the other ones. But I seem to remember the regular ones to be a little bit bigger than this. But anyways, that's one of the reasons I'm excited is that our range method here is going to help us with that. Yes. Email be yo professor, email be marble, email, yeah, right. I tell you what, in future I'm going to I could actually think about, so I'm going to see my camera's died. I would, if there was enough time, I would have actually like had stuff sent to you. I would have just gone to Amazon and bought the stuff and have it sent to you. You know, the thing I was really looking for was that slowed me down when I wasn't thinking properly. Yeah, no, there isn't. But you know what? I like this better. I mean, this is like, it's better to use real equipment. But right, I found something that was close, but most of everything I saw basically didn't involve taking any data, even in sim. So I just really wanted us to take real data. So I just y'all, of course we need our logbook today. What the hell's the matter with you? Huh? Of course you need your logbook. Everything goes in your logbook, but there's, and you know, I couldn't even find the damn kinds of rulers. Uh, Here it is. And I was hoping I would find it on whatchamacallit, like Office Depot. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to view the image. But this ruler has a groove down the middle the way it's made. Oh yeah, oh there we go. See, it's got a groove in the middle. And although these slots in the hole might have been a problem. And then I just freaking had this, you know, hit me in the head like Newton's apple, the toilet tubes. Well, what I did is, oh, what? It's okay. Here's what I typed in. First I did marble track, and I was like, holy crap. And then DIY, because I wanted a ramp actually. And then say I tried ramp, because I had this trouble with this summer school I taught, and I ended up using these clear plastic tubes. And but anyways, these aren't as, oh yeah, so you see toilet paper tubes. And but I could never find just a simple straight ramp that I wanted. So and I haven't even had a chance to make the damn thing, so we're going to see if it's even going to work, but I'm optimistic. So okay, anyways, at this point we'll set our logbooks aside, and because we can always describe the apparatus later. And so what we need to do is let me clear the decks here. And so we'll make these guys bigger. Okay, so everybody sees the two cameras. They're both on their screens. They can see the two camera windows. Yeah, if anybody needs me to make them smaller. Okay, so this one I've had, and I've been open, nobody threw it away on me, and I had it hiding out of my my garage, and I noticed that it got squished, and in fact, I realized that getting squished was a good thing, because you see there's a kind of a line on it from the squishing. So I'm going to use that as a guide. And then what I did is I went and got, no, that one's too big. I grabbed a few books. And the idea is that this is really hard to do, even as a machinist. If you want to cut a tube. Now, I don't even know if this marker is going to mark. The marker makes this easier. A pen will do it. And the idea is I want to follow that line with it, and how, oh boy, see, I didn't plan ahead. It's hitting my keyboard. So I need to do, now it's hard to make it reproducible. Oh, let's see. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be close. So, in fact, I just realized I'm being stupid. What about just doing this, right? Oh yeah, I know why, because I only have two hands. So how do I hold this in place, right? Okay, so I'm not being too, that's not that dumb. Using the book isn't that dumb. And so of course I missed. So I see that I want to get it about the halfway point. Oh yeah, so I can just, that's too bad actually. I like that if I'd hit it just on the crease. So I really did a bad job of hitting the crease. Maybe I'm going to redo this. Wait a minute. Maybe I'm going to redo it. Because I really think that if I hit that crease, it's going to be a good thing. See, once again, I should have done a test run. Now, that's pretty good. Now I picked up the crease. So now I need to check the other side to pick, yeah, see, there's the crease right there. I totally missed it. All right. And so, let's get this. Now, finally, see, whenever you do something like this, like I know when I was a contractor, and even now, I mean, I go out and do small jobs, and you know, you have something you have to do like this, and you say, you know, I tell my helpers and myself when I start doing it, and usually you just say, well, here's some ideas I have. You know, you can do it how you want if you can think of something. And you get, what happens is by the time you're done, you get really good at it. It always happens. Now, I'm hoping too that when I cut this thing, that it doesn't distort the tube too much also. Okay, so I'm gonna start from the other side too. The biggest part of the distortion would be if I couldn't, in the middle here, if I'd had to force the scissors inside of it, but I didn't have to, hopefully, or if you have a smaller scissors. So, yep, let's do the other side. Oh, this is working out nicely. Cool. Excuse me. Now I got two of them. I only need one. I can, so it doesn't look like one of the, oh, I can see these ridges though. So I wanted the ridges to, I don't know if you could see this from home. Oh yeah. See, if I run my fingernail here, my fingernail catches on that ridge. So the marble has to go up over that ridge. But when I do this, you see my fingernail doesn't catch. And in fact, you can barely see them because the shadow effect. So I know that I want at least this one, or I just need to turn this one around. So the marble goes down and doesn't have to climb over those humps. So you can see where the tape's going to come in handy because of this. Yo, what up, Lawrence? Yes, please. That's right. Go ahead. Do what I'm doing. Follow the leader. Follow the bouncing ball, if you will. That's right. So I'll pause this recording. And so you guys can, because some people may get done faster. But of course, we'll wait for everybody. So then what we need to do is we need to mark our ramp, our cardboard tube. And this is where we got a marker is all, well, I don't know, a fine marker would do. My marker is not very fine. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. Here, one. So I'm marking off every centimeter. I don't know if that's what we'll end up doing, but while I'm here, I might as well mark off every centimeter. Now I can imagine now, you know, another thing I could have done. I could have printed something. You got, excuse me, I could have made up with my CAD program a ruler that you could print and we could glue it in here. But, you know, that takes out some of the fun because like now we're doing arts and crafts together. We're back in kindergarten. Let's see if you guys, and once in a while, I'm going to double check to make sure the ruler hasn't moved on me. And now I'm wondering, could I do this better? Of course, now I have to be careful about Yeah, it's still the same thing. All I need is the marks. Just the big deal is that at the bottom, the first mark is 1 centimeter from the bottom. That's the big deal. And then just the rest of them just have to be 1 centimeter apart. And also, when you check to see the alignment of the ruler, you just don't look here at where you were working. You should always check back at the beginning. It's the best way to calibrate, to make sure that that you have the least amount of error. It's like when you build a wall. It's you have to lay out bottom wood is called the bottom plate, the top plate, and then there's studs, and the studs are 16-inch on center. So the rookie mistake is to measure 16 inches from the end, and then go to and mark it, and then go to the next one and measure 16 inches. Oops, see, my ruler moved a little bit. And so on. So each time measuring 16 inches instead of there's only pit stop. There's only stops at the near end. Guess I'm lucky. Well, okay, we're going to be holding it at various places. So I'm just going to mark off 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So if you lay out your studs that way, you end up with, they usually end up being further and further apart. I forget why. I know intuitively. And it's a sure way to get fired on your first day of carpentry helper job. And okay. Now, one thing we also need is we need the total length of our cardboard tube, or our half pipe if you're a skateboarder. And my total length is exactly 28 centimeters. Okay, so make sure you write down in your logbook that your length of your ramp, whatever it is, mine is 28 centimeters, and let's see where that is. I need the Google Sheet. And so I have to, well, I'm going to just put, what should I do here? I'm going to think about this. Excuse me. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to set this over here. You guys keep working there for a minute. I'm going to pause the recording. And okay, so when you know the length of your ruler, type it in here next to your name in centimeters. The length of your ramp, excuse me, I said ruler.
Where do we find that, Professor?
You just measure it.
No, where do you find the spreadsheet?
Oh, sorry. It's, let's see. There
Is
you
it week
go.
6?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So we're going to do everything in centimeters instead of trying to convert everything to meters. It's just going to make our lives easier.
Professor, did you want us to put it, do we want us to round this to near centimeter, or do you want it in like 1 decimal place?
Oh, that's a good question. I think as long as it's, yeah, that's a good question. Do 1 decimal place is the simple answer, and
Okay.
we'll see. Yeah, that's a good question, though. Mine turned out to be exactly 28. which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. Come on, you're here somewhere. I know you. Oh, there you go. All right. Yeah, this is important. You'll see. I'll explain why. It's and so I'm going to pause the recording once more because once everybody has. So again, at this point, we have our half pipe here. We have marks every centimeter, and we were careful to have the first mark be as close to 1 centimeter away from the ends as we could get it. And we were also careful to double check while we were marking that the 0 was always, that it hadn't moved on us. And then, and at the top, it doesn't, we just want to get close to the top. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then we want to mark, I marked, numbered every second one. So mine goes 2, 4, 6, 8. Then we want to get the total length of our ramp. Total length. And then mine just happened to be exactly 28 centimeters. And, you know, if that doesn't mean made in a foreign land, I don't know what does. Ooh. Sorry, I got to answer that question later. Somebody's asking me about oh, I'm recording. Oh, let's stop the recording. Okay, so the next step is we want to get it attached down to the table. And I'm going to actually cover the 1 centimeter mark, but I have the 2 is still showing. Excuse me. Okay, now the next step is we got to do a little experimentation here. So one idea I had is to use this. So what we have to figure out is how hard, if we can actually do a measurement. So we can, first of all, we'll do some quick experimentation. So yeah, this is going to be hard for me because I'm a righty, and but I wanted to have this thing. Okay, so now I've got it on 12. So 1, 2, oops, shit. Reset. Ready, set, go. No, yeah, so maybe that's too fast. Okay. I may have to actually switch direction because I need, well, let's try this. I claim I'm a righty. No, whoops. See, this is where I suppose if we made pairs might be useful. So, yeah, but I have to be able to see the ends. Ready, set, no. I'll have to practice. The trouble is that its start is in the middle, but the stop is over here. Pretty stupid. Okay, ready? Oops. Ready, set, go. Yeah, I did it and I missed. All right, so it looks like, let's see, we also have to time this. Okay, see, I have some grease. This must have come from my shop. So it looks like that's going to work. Now, here's the deal. First of all, we need to steady that. So we don't want it to slip sideways. We need here's what our goal is, guys. We want everybody to have their A theoretical here be as close to each other as possible. And so now this is a drag because my ruler doesn't have, see, it has this extra bit right here. So I can't just do this. So I got to figure out how I can measure this. Okay, I have an idea. First of all, I'm going to, and I just also realized that I have to, this ramp could crush. So I am going to really get fancy here. And I'm going to take a piece of tape like this. And so that way, my, I don't know, my block here, now it can't crush. And that's one thing I'm going to do. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just do this. I'm going to take some piece of the scrap of cardboard here. And probably pen. Now I can measure that. And I see 2.8 centimeters. 2.8 centimeters. So now I have a theoretical acceleration. And let's format this. We need more digits. Nice. So it's not so much that you want to equal the height that I have so much as you want to make sure that at the end of the day, you get your A theoretical as close as possible. And you think about it, what happens is that means that this is the angle that this thing is at. And so A theoretical is just 9.8 times the sine of the angle, which happens to be H over L, right? Because L is the hypotenuse and H is the opposite. So I see where I'm going to make that about there. So now I took this tape and I rolled it inside out. And make it nice and flat. And then I stick it down there. Now I still want to, oh yeah, I know what to do. Oh, I have something even easier to do. Okay, let's see if you can watch me do this. Let's set up the cameras better. Right. What did I do, Diane? I'm sorry. What's the thank for the link or something? All right. So I just had an inspiration. And let's see if we can get you a good view of it. Well, you'll figure it out from the. So I'm cutting, and then if you have Scotch tape, no, not long enough. So you need a pretty good sized piece. That's why the duct tape is nice because it's heavy. And then I'm going to do that. Oh, yeah. Nice, huh? So maybe you might want to cut this, the rest a little bigger than mine. Don't let your mom and dad, don't let anybody cares in your house see you doing this, right? Big long piece of tape. Oh, coolio. All right. So now I think that's about as good as it's going to get. And so I'm going to do one more time, double check my height. Oh, it's a little different now. Not much difference, 2.7. Yeah. What's a tenth of a centimeter among friends, huh? Okay. Yes. All right. Good. You're welcome, Diana. All right. So we are almost there. I doubt it would make a difference if I did it the other way. So this is going to be interesting. And so let's pause. In fact, you know what? Well, we can pause this. Okay, so for some reason, this guy is okay. That camera's not happy about something. Is it this?
Hey, Professor Thiemann,
Yo.
is a theoretical calculated on this sheet differently than it is in the lab manual?
Well, I shouldn't be. I mean, well, although I wanted it, well, it's not about, well, no, it is about the apparatus. Okay, so we resume the recording. We're talking about how we're calculating the A theoretical on the spreadsheet up there. And our colleague Nicholas has pointed out that maybe we're making a mistake. And of course, we all know that he's full of crap. It's a legitimate concern. And I have said to you in the past, yeah, I got to get the chat window in front. And that you should always double check what goes into your spreadsheet, right? And that's what we're going to do. And let's get that out of the way. Okay, so we are, we have a ramp. And so if there's an object on the ramp, it has a weight that's equal to mg. And so there's always components you can break everything down into. So, I mean, this can go as to part of your background. So there's a perpendicular component and a parallel component of the force. So we have theta here. So this becomes, figuring out angles has a tendency to drive you nuts in these kind of setups. So I always tell people, what happens to the parallel component as theta goes to 0? the parallel component also equals 0. So that means that we need sine, because sine of theta is 0 equals 0 when theta equals 0. So the parallel component of the force is mg, excuse me, mg sine of theta. And we also know that you will know that from Newton's second law that F equals ma. So we can just cancel this. So this is our so-called known or theoretical value, if you like, because we're going to assume, we're assuming that this is true, which we know is, well, take my word for it. So the acceleration of the marble should be g times sine of theta. So now we have our ramp, and we know the length, and we know the height. So then we know that sine of theta, sine of theta equals h over L, opposite over hypotenuse. So if we do that, I got 5.53. And if I simply do the division for the angle, 5.53 degrees, now you know what stinks is I don't know if I have, what mode do I have this in? I hope I had it in degrees, but I'll redo it just to be safe. So we have 2.7, enter, 28, divide, which is going to be, so something's not right here, right? So give me a minute. No, I want to do inverse sine, right? If I do that. 5.53 degrees. So yeah, what did I do? The small angle approximation should be that they're equal, but it's not, because, right, in radians. All right, yeah. So, not in degrees. That's right. So, let's be safe here. Well, okay, for the time being, as long as right now they're all pretty similar, and that's a good thing. So, we need this to actually be sine of degrees. I hope that's a function in Google. No, sine of theta. No, I'm sorry, this should work. You know, let's table this for now, because I have everything so set up that for the time being, this is okay. And I'll fix that. We can still take data, everything will work. Yeah, I know, Kevin, so am I. So that's why, let's let this ride for now. I just have it in my head that it's correct, and I'm not doing a good job of explaining it right now because I didn't practice the explanation. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to stop this one because this is going to be